Hey guys, this is a video of my horse Cheddar, aka Evaluator, at the 2022 Thoroughbred Makeover. This is his Dressage Demo ride, and for those that don't know, at the makeover, the demo ride is similar to a dressage freestyle format, but there are no prescribed movements, and you can build your own test to showcase your horse's strengths and abilities. The only requirements are that you walk, trot, and canter in both directions. So with Cheddar, what I had planned to do was track left and then immediately change directions and a 15-meter circle. But another nice thing about the makeover, the demo ride portion, is the judge doesn't know what you're supposed to be doing. So if you're like me and you immediately went off course, it's not a big deal, you just change it up for the right direction. So Cheddar usually has a harder time leg yielding off of my left leg, and you can see he got a little bit sticky there. And so that's why I wanted to go to the right first, but I forgot. So no problem, it's just a half 15-meter circle into a leg yield, and then I change directions and I do another half 15-meter circle into another leg yield. And leg yielding to the left off of my right leg. He is a little bit stronger and a little bit less sticky, and so you can see he's straight and moves over with a little bit less resistance here. So when I was practicing my demo ride at home, I did a little bit less walk work because I was very anxious about 5 minutes being not long enough, but it turns out 5 minutes is a very long time, and since I'd already gone off of my intended plan, I decided to change it all up in the middle of my ride, and I did a much longer free walk. I thought Cheddar's free walk was okay in the first test. His walk in general, it's really naturally very good, it's just not very well trained, I guess I would say. He's got a lot of natural overstep, but I think he just doesn't see the point in doing walk work. He gets a little bit fussy in the connection, but this is actually pretty good for him. So I pick him back up, and again, my initial plan was to go a short walk, then trot, then canter, similar to how the movement is in first level. But he just was feeling a little bit behind my leg, and so I decided to add in a lot of trot before we went up to the canter so that I could really get him bent and off of my inside leg. In the actual canter work, he was still a little bit counterbent and a little bit sticky. He was getting a little bit tired by this point, and so I decided to keep the canter work to a minimum and just do the requisite 20-meter circle. And then I go ahead and change directions again so that we can do our right lead canter. Earlier in Cheddar's development, he really had a hard time with the right lead canter. So again, I want to really make sure I'm taking the time to set him up and move him off of my inside leg and get him bent to the right before I ask for the right lead canter. And I also want to make sure that I'm asking for that right lead canter in a corner so that we don't get the wrong lead. The right lead canter actually felt better to me than the left lead canter did. So I decided to go across the long diagonal in the canter, similar to first level movements, only instead of picking up the left lead after the right lead canter, I'm going to trot and then go directly into my stretch trot. I was a little bit on the fence about including the stretch trot in my demo ride because it's not required, and Cheddar sometimes just doesn't feel like stretching. But he had a pretty good stretch in our Training 2 ride, and I was running out of ideas, so I decided to go for it, and he was pretty good. He had a nice willing stretch here. So I pick him back up, and now I am really out of ideas. Another movement I had thought about doing was the first level teardrops, where you do a half 10-meter circle and then just out on the diagonal back out to the rail. But I wasn't really in a good position in the ring to pick that up. And Cheddar was getting a little bit tired and lazy At home, we had practiced extending the trot, but a lot of times when I asked for a really big trot, he would break the canter. But because I could tell he was really lazy and a little bit relaxed, I decided to go ahead and ask him to extend the trot across the diagonal here. And then I was going to use this opportunity to go into our teardrops if we got to it, but fortunately, right when I was finished extending my trot, they rang the bell, and so that was the end of my demo ride. Very conveniently right by the out gate. So I gave the judges a wave. You do not have to salute at the end of the ride. Gave Cheddar a big pat, and that was the end of our preliminary competition for the dressage. This demo scored us a 44.5 out of a possible 60 points, and along with our 71.034 in training 2, that placed us in 11th place in the overall preliminary competition and 4th place amateur. Thanks for watching!